All right. Let's see here. Start presenting. While I'm presenting, is it not allowing me to jump in back into my master cam? Okay. All right. So back to this. Can you see my screen? You see the master cam file? Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to go here, right click, and I'm going to go to my front plane. Studying my part, I know that my fourth axis is to my right. The stick out here is 4 3/8 inch. That's the stick out that we determined from the 3 jaw to the G54, where your G54s lie right here. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to create a line, and I'm going to go. There's my front. I'm going to turn this at 2D, and I'm just going to create a line. Say, I want to start at center point, or do I want to kind of leave off? Let's start at center point, and I'm going to create a line. Let's say something like that'd be a pretty cool wedge right there, right? I mean, if we were to make a wedge that way, yeah. So, well, and I kind of maybe want a little bit of a flat. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create this. I'm going to hit the check mark. And I'm going to select this line, and I like that angle, but I'm going to transform it a little bit in a positive distance here. Let's see here. Let's just go 0.02. To hit the check mark, and let's move it. So when I rotate this part to machine this opposite feature, there's going to be a 40 thousandths flat in the end of this wedge. I don't want to bring it to a blunt tip because I think whenever the tool starts cutting into it, since this piece of steel is essentially perforated with all the holes that we did into it earlier in the stages of its life right here, and that steel being pretty soft, I'm thinking that if you were to hammer this part, being the softest steel that it was with the wedge, it would start to mushroom out through those holes. It'd be interesting. You could probably shrink that part without screwing it up, probably about, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch or more if you were to, with those holes collapsing as you pound it into the wood from an 8-pound maul, which is a heavy duty sledgehammer. All right, so let's look at this. I'm going to go ahead and go back to isometric. I'm going to make sure these are all at top down here on my construction planes. I'm going to select this line, and I'm going to wireframe, and I'm going to look at something here. I don't want to really trim it, but I may extend it to get a little bit of so my tool, when I start my tool path, my tool doesn't start directly into the material. Is what I'm trying to say. So let's go here. Let's go to right, back to front view. I'm going to go here to trim entities, and then I'm going to go, where's my extend at? Trim auto. You know where that's at? Can you help me with that? Where's my extend at? Maybe it's modify length. Let's see. Yeah, modify length. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm giving my tool, I'm thinking my step over is probably going to be about 25 thousandths. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this length. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make it, 100 thousandths sounds good. I'm just going to leave it at that. This one here, and there's going to do a couple cuts in the air right there, but that's fine. So I'm going to go back to isometric, back to my tool path. I'm just looking at there. I'm going to need to create another tool path. But first, I want to set up some more of the geometry that I'm working with here. So I'm going to translate this. I want to go my Y 0.9. So the part from the center, which is where that line was created, I wanted to go 3/4 of an inch because that's half the diameter. That would put us right out there on the outside of the part. And then I'm going to go in and outside another 150 thousandths. You see how that part's outside of there? That line is? All right. Check mark. I forgot to copy it. See, it's easy to forget stuff on this stuff. So just go back to transform, translate, and we'll go right here. And I'm just going to be 950 this time because I feel like it. Let's go to copy. All right, I like that there. Then I'm gonna go back to my top view, and I'm just gonna mirror this. This is another way we could pick this center line again and translate it in a negative direction down here,